Hey guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we're going to talk about a topic that has always caught my attention regarding the Thousand Year Blood War arc. And this interest, guys, only grows stronger once I learned that this arc would finally be adapted into an anime. Usually any manga reader gets excited when their favorite work is turned into an anime because they want to see what they once enjoyed in manga form brought to life into animation. But in the case of this arc, things were a little different. The Quincy arc as a manga had many things missing. Some of it was obvious and some parts were left ambiguous. Was it a new direction from Kubo that he wanted to take, or was it due to external factors like time and health issues? And among the things that stood out the most, guys, were the lack of backstories for the Sternritter. And out of 25, only 3 of them had what we could actually consider a real flashback that gave us some insight into their personalities. The rest were either shadow appearances or merely served as combat tools, nothing more. And so this brings up the question, why didn't Kubo flesh out the Sternritter with backstories? Was it intentional? And if so, then why? Or was it due to something else? Let's start, guys, by agreeing on one thing. It's not necessary for Kubo to give every single Sternritter a flashback. After all, there are so many of them. But on the other hand, we can't ignore the clear lack of development in this era. If we compare them to Arrancar, for example, who were also among the main enemies, they were just as numerous, yet Kubo focused mainly on a specific group, Espada, and deeply developed their characters, giving most of them flashbacks, and these flashbacks were often the final piece that completed our understanding of who they really were. For example, in the manga we learned the truth about Stark and Lilinette, how they were one being and why they split into two, and how they met Aizen. We also saw how Aizen defeated Baragan and took his place, who was once the king of Wikomundo, and we got a glimpse of what Las Noches was like before Aizen took over. As for Noitora, we got insight into his intense hatred for Neil and how Zeno Aporo helped him to get rid of her. And Grimish's flashback gives us valuable information about how Hollows evolved from Gillian to Vasto Lord and his dream of becoming king. Even when Kubo couldn't include flashbacks directly in the manga, we saw them in other places, like Halibel's past in the anime, Ilkira's in the data book, and Zylo Aporo's full backstory in the novels. And when it comes to the Shinigami, whoa, Kubo was very generous. Many of their characters were shaped and deepened by flashbacks. Even the Fullbrings, despite being part of what we can consider the shortest arc, got short flashbacks that give us a glimpse into each one of their pasts. But with the Sternritter, Kubo took a completely different approach. In the first invasion, their battles were short and fast-paced, more like ambushes than drawn-out fights. And after that invasion, most of their fights ended in quick defeats. And instead of giving them backstories, Kubo would often show us Shinigami's flashbacks. For example, the second invasion started with a major fight between Sajin Komura and Bambita Buster Bean. Bambita was among the first Sternritter we met during the first invasion. We learned she holds the letter E, leads the Bambi's group, and she has a strange obsession with attractive Quincy officers. And she also expressed concern for the future of the Van der Reich, and this could have been the perfect setup for a flashback. Something that shows her life inside the Van der Reich, or even before she joined Yuabach's army, a look at how she gained her powers. But instead, her storyline took a tragic turn. She ended up becoming a zombie controlled by Giselle, and even her battle with Komura only served to deepen his character and reveal the origin of his clan. And this was the pattern in most battles. Sternritter in most cases were merely used as a tool to highlight unknown sides of the Shinigami. just like Komura's case or Renji's when he used his new Bankai and we got a flashback with Ichibi that revealed more about Ichibi's abilities. And the same thing can be said with Lilibaro and Kyorako. We only got a flashback of Kyurako's past with Nanao, and in the battle between Pernida and Mayuri, even though we didn't see Pernida's flashback in that moment, but the anime at least showed a flashback between Yuaba and Ichibi, revealing that Pernida once served under Ichibi. Even in one of the arc's biggest fights, Zaraki vs Grimy, which lasted over 6 chapters, we got nothing about Grimy's backstory, not even in the anime, despite the novels revealed some information about him. Those who could have had flashbacks, but there were others who didn't even get anything close to a proper fight. Like Kangdo or Robert, their appearances were so brief that they barely left an impact. And that's exactly why, when we start thinking about why things turned out this way with the Quincy's, I personally began to doubt the theory that Kubo simply didn't have enough time, or was rushed during the manga's release, because once the anime came out, it included a ton of extra content. But when it came to the Sternritter, there weren't really any major additions that fleshed out their characters, aside from that one flashback with Yuaba and Ichibi, which revealed some facts about Pernida. And I know some people will say, well, there is still a part 4 coming. Sure, but honestly, I think it's already too late. Most of the characters that, in my opinion, truly deserved a flashback are already gone. My only remaining hope now is asking Naklovar. Because to be honest with you, I find him to be one of the few Quincy characters who truly deserve a backstory. Unlike many of the others, Askin didn't feel like just another killing machine or mere extension of Yuaba's power. He was a character with his own vision, his own identity, and that's exactly why I would love to see and to know more about his past. Because guys, whether you like it or not, flashbacks are a powerful storytelling tool. They add depth, especially for characters who didn't get enough time to fully show who they are, and flashbacks also help us to understand their choices and what made them the way they are. And I really believe, guys, that the Sternritter were a great opportunity to explore more about the Van der Reich and the Quincy's. They're not all from the same era, their powers are vastly different, and that's likely connected to their personalities, just like what we saw with Ace Note or Busby or even Hashfeld. In the end, guys, I feel like portraying the Sternritter the way they were, so flat and one-dimensional, at least for me, makes a lot of them feel empty, at least from my perspective. Just superpower tool built only to serve Yuaba. And maybe that's exactly how Kubo intended to do it, but still I wish some of them had been given real backstories. In the end, guys, what about you? Tell me the reasons why you think Kubo didn't want to include backstories of the Sternritter. I would like to see your comments, your opinions, and see you guys in my next video.